accepted to the pre-IB program at Niwot High School. So again, if you are interested in more information about that, you can visit with me tonight. I will be by the counseling office where all the counselors are, so you can come and stop by and say hello. Otherwise, plan on visiting us on December 4th, same time, same space, here in the auditorium, starting at 6:30 p.m. And I would love to share more about it with you. I trust that you will find your time with us this evening both enjoyable and informative. And now, let our champions, cheerleaders, welcome you to the Cougarland.
All right, we appreciate our cheerleaders getting out here, leading some spirit. It's always great to hear from them. Okay, guys, we've got about 10, 12 minutes left here, and unfortunately, you're just gonna now hear the rest from me, so I do apologize for that. But there's some important things about Niwot High School that I want to share with you. Talk a little bit about academics here, talk a little bit about some of the things we're proud of, and then we're gonna wrap it up with 4 pieces of advice to you 8th graders looking to choose the best high school for you. So let's go ahead and get started. I want to talk a little bit about academics here because academics are the foundation of everything that we do here at Niwot High School. So first and foremost, the thing that we take most seriously is making sure that our students get a world-class education. And that's for the people that want to be the valedictorians, or that's the people that will barely graduate. We want to make sure that everybody that walks through our doors is going to get a fabulous education. So a couple of things I want to mention is that there is a pathway for everyone. I think sometimes people get this image of Niwot High School, the championships, all the achievements, and this, and that, and the other thing. But there are a lot of our students who aren't going to reach those heights, but we are here just as much for all of those students as we are for those students that might be wanting to go on to, an Ivy League or something like that. So there is a pathway that's solid for every single student that comes through our doors. Now, about 40% of all of our students are somehow involved in the IB process. So 9th grade and 10th grade years, that would be a part of the pre-IB program. That basically just means taking honors classes. And then as you matriculate on to 11th grade and 12th grade, you can do the full IB diploma program, or you can just take an IB course here or there. But you can see about 40% of our students have some sort of toe in the IB world. Now, the important part of this statistic is to realize that about 60% of our students are not involved in this process, okay? So IB, we're really proud of it. We want as many students as possible to be a part of it, but also know that most of our students don't do that and still they get a great education. Now the next thing, about 75% of all of our upperclassmen are taking at least one AP or IB course. So we really do encourage every single student at Niwot High School to challenge themselves and take that class that is at a college level. And about 3/4 of all of our juniors and seniors are doing just that. Niche.com ranked Niwot High School as the #1 magnet school in Colorado. Not quite sure what that means, but we'll take the ranking. We're also really proud of the students that we prepare to go to the military, the workforce, go to community college, or go to college or university, okay? The slides that we were showing before the presentation started tonight showed you all the different schools that our kids are a part of. But we also recognize that college is not for everybody, and that's totally fine. So if a student wants to go in and do a trade, that's great. You're going to get an excellent education here at Niwot High School to be a carpenter, to be an electrician, something like that too. So no matter what your pathway is going to be, you're going to be well prepared by coming to Niwot High School and challenging yourself. About 85% of all of our graduates go on to do something with education after high school. It could be a regular four-year college or university, it could be culinary school, it could be community college, but about 85% do go on to some sort of post-secondary education. And then last year, our senior class of about 300 students garnered over $29 million in college scholarships. Now, if you get your calculator out and do the math of how much that is per student, that is a lot of money. So if you come here, you work hard, you apply yourself, you're going to be well positioned to go into that next level and probably get a healthy amount of that paid for. Okay, let's continue on with some academics. We offer 16 AP courses, and on top of that, we offer 17 IB courses, and these courses are available to every student at Niwot High School. Okay, so you may just want to take one, or you may want to take 5 or 6. Whatever you think you want to do, you'll have plenty of options because we have a total of 33 college-level courses offered here at Niwot. Now, let's talk a little bit about PSAT 9, PSAT 10, and the SAT. So, there are 7 large traditional St. Vrain Valley School District high schools, and here's where Niwot High School ranks with the PSAT 9, 10, and SAT. PSAT 9, we're number 1. PSAT 10, number 1. And you probably guessed it, SAT, we are also number 1. Okay? Now, I do want to say, test scores aren't everything. We know plenty of people don't do well with testing. That's totally fine. This is not the end-all be-all. But this is to illustrate that if you come here and work hard and apply yourself, you are going to do pretty well on those college entrance exams. Okay, last academic thing we're going to put up here is Niwot High School had 5 National Merit Scholars out of the total of 11 in the St. Vrain Valley School District. So we are very proud of those 5 students who got the distinction of being a National Merit semifinalist. That's awesome. Okay, now let's transition a little bit to talking about getting involved, okay? If you come here, you will constantly hear me tell students the importance of getting involved. So let me ask the parents in this room a couple questions. First of all, do we have any Niwot High School alumni as parents in this room right here? Make some noise, clap your hands. All right, that's awesome. Now, if you're a parent here and you were involved in something extracurricular when you were a student, make some noise. Okay, all right. Well, at Niwot High School, guys, maybe more than anything, we stress the importance of getting involved. Because we know that's the fun part of high school. You're going to meet your friends, you're going to find people that have similar interests, and we know that that's where you're really going to connect. So we really stress the importance of getting involved in something extracurricular here at Niwot. About 90% of all of our students do something extracurricular. It doesn't have to be sports, it could be, but it's also things like, National Honor Society, band, choir, orchestra, theater, mock trial, all sorts of different things. But 90% of all of our students. This year, so far, and we're only in November, we have 53 clubs. One thing I tell people is probably most high schools have like 5 to 10 clubs would be my guess. Niwot High School has 53. And we're always looking for students to start more clubs based on what their interests are. We also have a very close association with the Upper Creek Robotics team. It is a robotics team located in Longmont, where most of the people on that team that within the last 5 years have won national and world championships. Most of the students on the Upper Creek Robotics team come from Niwot High School, and we're very proud of their achievements as well. These are some of the other things that we have in terms of extracurricular involvement: speech and debate, mock trial, theater and drama, student council, mariachi band, which is awesome. And like I said, we're always looking for people to start a new club. It is so easy. It takes you about 30 seconds, fill out a little paperwork, find a teacher advisor, boom, you got a club, okay? So we're always encouraging more clubs. All right, now let's talk a little bit about athletics. You guys heard our athletic director, Joe Brown, speak a little bit about athletics. I want to expound upon that just a little bit. Since 2014, so that's in the last 11 years, and this is across 7 of our 22 varsity sports. So in the last 11 years, we've won 28 team state championships. Now, if you go in the gyms of any other high school, look up at their banners and count how many they have, okay? 28 in the last just 11 years, that's pretty impressive. And 166 individual state championships in the last 11 years. Okay, so you come here, there is going to be a lot to celebrate, for sure. Back in 2021, so that was only 4 short years ago, our girls cross country team won nationals. And then last year, 2024, our boys cross country team won nationals. So it's super impressive what our cross country team is doing here. And our track and cross country team are the biggest teams in the entire school. There's about 150 people out for that. You know, one thing I tell people about cross country is you don't have to be a good runner. There are people on that team that can hardly run a mile. Again, it's just about getting involved in something. That's what we encourage all of our students to do, is just get involved. Okay, Elise Cranny is a 2014 graduate. She still lives in the community here, and she's an Olympian. She'll be training. She's made the last 2 Olympics, and we hope that she'll make the next one as well. And then 2 years in a row, athletics, our athletic program was ranked #1 in 4A by Mile High Magazine. So not only do we have great individual and sports, but our whole athletic program has been recognized by this magazine as being the best in Colorado. Okay, so we're going to transition a little bit from some of those points of pride to, I'm going to give every single 8th grader in this room 4 pieces of advice. And I'll preface this just by saying, take it or leave it. Okay, some of this, you may say, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. There's no way I'm going to do that. And if that's how you feel, hey, no skin off my nose whatsoever. But if I was in 8th grade, here are the 4 things I'd be concentrating on. So the first thing is, let me encourage you to go to multiple open houses, okay? I encourage people to do this all the time because you're going to make the best decision possible in anything if you have done your research, okay? So go to different high schools, check it out. Now, that high school may not be the best fit for you, and I encourage you to make sure that you're making an informed decision by going to as many open houses as you can. Okay, the second piece of advice I would give you is, you've heard me say, get involved, okay? I know when you're in 8th grade, you're like, man, these next 4 years, it's going to be forever. But let me tell you, as an older person, these next 4 years fly by. And like you heard me say earlier, getting involved in extracurriculars, that's going to be the most fun part of high school. Not to say that chemistry and algebra and science and Spanish and French aren't fun, because they definitely are fun. But the most fun thing about high school is doing things outside the regular school day, okay? So really get involved. Start thinking now in 8th grade what you want to do in high school. Because the last thing I want to see you do, or anybody do, is get to that stage of graduation and have regrets on things you should have tried. Okay? When I was in high school, I did choir and I did sports. Those were my big things. I actually went on and played 2 sports in college, but looking back, I sure wish I would have tried theater. I think that would have been so much fun. And even now at my age, I have that regret of something I should have done when I was younger. So don't graduate high school having any regrets. Get involved as much as you can and try everything that you're even thinking about. Okay, the third point is very important, guys. There are very few times in your life where you will have a chance for a fresh start. And you'll have an opportunity to redefine who you are, okay? In middle school, you have your friend group. People at school know you. Maybe you have a good reputation. Maybe you have a reputation that's less than stellar. But you're known, right? Making that transition to high school is one of the few opportunities you have in life to start fresh and be the person you want to be, not the person you have been. Okay? So as you finish out 8th grade and you go through this next summer, I want you to really think about, who do I want to be known as in high school? Do I want to be known as a good student? Do I want to be known as a loyal friend? Do I want to be known as someone who is involved in a lot? Okay? Or do I want to be known as someone else? Okay? But I want you to really think about that, because you have a golden opportunity to redefine yourself and make some of those changes in yourself that you've been thinking about doing. Okay, now the last thing I want to just give you advice on is don't go to high school simply based on where your friends are going to go. Let me ask you this question. If in 4 years you're going to go to college, and most of your friends are going to go to, say, Front Range Community College, are you going to say, man, I've got the grades to go to CU, or I've got the grades to go to Vanderbilt, but you know what? All my friends, they're going to Front Range, so that's where I'm going to go. That's a silly example, and I know that. But it rings true to the decision you have in front of you right now. Okay? Don't get me wrong, friends are important, but you're going to make friends no matter where you go. Could be Silver Creek, could be Erie, could be Longmont, could be Niwot. You will make friends no matter where you go. But don't just make a decision on high school based on where your middle school friends are. Okay? Because in essence, if you do that, what you're saying is, I'm just going to go with people that live geographically close to me. Okay? Not necessarily going to look at what school has the best educational options, what has the best extracurricular options, or what feels best for me. I'm just going to go where my friends are going. Okay? I would just encourage you not to do that, because if you start that pattern now, it's not a healthy pattern to do later in life. You always have to make the best decision for you. What are you interested in, and what place will give you the best chance to meet your goals down the road? Okay? So those are the 4 pieces of advice. Valedictorian, we will support them. If someone's barely going to graduate by the skin of their teeth, we're going to support them as well. Okay? Everybody means a lot to us. And we have a very healthy school culture here. You heard us say that about 75% of our students are open enrolled. And students came from 55 different middle schools this year. What that means is that Niwot High School is a really easy place to make friends, because 3/4 of our kids are the new kid. 3/4 of our students are coming here not knowing a whole lot of people, but it's really easy to make friends here. You know, I say it jokingly, but I'm not really joking. If we have 2 fights in a year, that's kind of a bad year for us. Okay? We have an environment of mutual respect, of being polite, of being grateful, and we as adults model that as much as we can. But it's just a great place to come every single day, whether you're a student or whether you're an adult. It's a wonderful school. So with that, guys, we're going to wrap it up. I'm going to say thank you, and I hope you guys have a great evening, and go Cougars. Thank you.